I just, can I have a lock of your hair? I just want to sniff it. I'll just put it in a necklace and just sniff it. Maybe we can have some pictures of your feet, little guy.
Even though I'm a lady.
No, it's just Chip.
What about like somewhat slimmer, taller, Chinese Fred Flintstone there?
He's actually a former frog.
Oh, that's true.
Why his mouth can expand like that?
People might call that racist, but only if we're like a big channel and we do something they don't agree with, so they'll suddenly call us racist.
Oh no, did I do a racism?
The shrine tablet thing.
The car is gone.
The back right. Well, you know what? There is someone there in the HD version, but not here. Sacred shrine.
So wait, what is the back 8 even for in this version?
Well, to get
waste
the
your
levels.
time?
The shrines aren't in the shrines aren't in
the inferior versions.
He's saying, oh. No.
Woo!
Anyway. I was checking my phone.
Let's go, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic? It's Sonic.
Yes, it's Sonic.
Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, you got an attitude.
Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive. Blue streak.
Blue streak streaking?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess he is, except for his gloves and shoes. 30 coins.
30.
Did I really
40,
just say coins?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No.
You should just put the game down and never play Sonic again.
Yeah. I'm gonna gaslight you into thinking that you said it.
It's like when on How I Met Your Mother, Barney's like, you can never take a bad picture of me, and Robin gets a picture of him, like, snaps a picture as he's like, I don't know, like putting a big piece of food in his mouth or something, and she says, "Hi, I got you." Says, "Look again," and she looks back, and the picture is just him, like, looking nice and model-like at the camera with his hand on his chin.
Yeah. That show was ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't age all that well, but there's still some funny stuff from it.
Yeah. Well, I thought people were saying it hasn't aged as well just because they don't have the, you know, just because it doesn't go up to modern standards of women empowerment, you know.
Episodes I think about, like the one where Lily goes into labor and Marshall and Barney are on that bus, all the old people.
Yeah.
And the dude's like, "I can't stop unless it's a medical emergency." The first old guy gets up, "I'm having a heart attack." Another one stands up, "I'm having a heart attack." Next one, "I'm having a heart attack."
Oh, like to get them to...
Yeah, in order to get him to pull the bus over, because she's in labor and Marshall's not there.
Yeah.
So...
But I like the, gosh, I remember watching that in front of our parents one time, and a little awkward. I mean, it's not like an adult show, but it's, you know, not an adult as in uncut adult, but like, you know, I think Barney started talking about something about boob job and all that, or
yeah. Well, there's one who's talking to Lily, trying to cut some kind of deal to touch. Or do something with at least one for boobs. The conversation goes to all kinds of different places.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he ends up one squeeze for each or something.
Oh yeah.
If he wins.
Yeah.
I forgot what he got if he lost. Or I like in the twist in the last episode where he's, because it does, the episode's kind of like clips from different slices of their lives after X number of years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I remember seeing the last episode.
And like Barney knocked a girl up and she left the kid with him. Started changing his whole outlook on life. He sees these two like young 20s women and he's just like, don't make these choices, like basically telling them to not be with the kind of guys that he was.
Yeah. Well, he said, you go home right now or go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or something,
yeah, something like
I remember that.
Or the one where they, for some reason, they're back at either their old high school or college, and this guy that played hacky sack with them one time was still obsessed with them, and had basically made like the hacky sack group, even though they had the group one time, and it had sold enough merch where he actually was rich. And they realized he didn't even need to like look for their attention anymore. He had all the money he wanted.
Dear Lord. So, apparently, I think I texted you one time about it, but apparently Camp Coral ended back in July this year.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Well, yeah, I'm somewhat surprised it even lasted as long as it did. But, apparently the Patrick Show's still going.
The episode
of
How I Met Your Mother, let's see, which one? The one where Robin shows one of her old TV shows, or some kind of space adventure, and it's about beavers.
Oh. Like a live action show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was all like accidental innuendos, because a beaver is in American English compared to Canadian English.
Yeah.
He's like, if Robin's beaver needs X number of pieces of wood, and
oh yeah,
Sharon's beaver needs X number of pieces of wood, how much wood do I need to keep them satisfied for the entire trip? And they're trying to hold back laughter. One of the weird facts about that show is the ones who played Robin and Lily were both pregnant at the same time in the same season.
Yeah.
So they did a bunch of weird cover-ups.
Yeah.
Well, they would like, stick them in like nightgowns and gigantic purses.
Yeah. Did they make a joke about it at all? Like, did they?
I know they had a joke where Lily does a hot dog eating contest and wins. And they show her full belly, but it's supposed to be like, that's hot dogs in there.
Yeah. I was gonna say that I remember they made a joke on the nanny one time where
they did that, and Cece, they didn't even try to hide it with her.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they were joking. They were like, she was talking about another show where she was talking about like they gave her like really gigantic purses. Let's see, can you believe that? She had like a big bag, like a humongous bag, covering her up.
Yeah.
Of course they made a joke on Family Guy where Peter was supposed to be real life pregnant or something like that.
What the heck?
He says something like, "I'm real life pregnant."
Don't have two families. Or have three. Ignore the first two families and you like the Peter like Nike commercial.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because it needs to be heard.
Copyright.
Wi-Fi is be sucking.
Oh yeah, it sucks right now for some reason. Just for whatever reason, it's just like, no, we're not gonna work as much right now. Yes, I want to continue.
Like YouTube isn't even loading correctly.
Cool. Ooh.
How do you know what what's inside you unless you test yourself. Don't do 1 push-up. Do 100. Don't run 1 mile. Run a marathon. Don't have one family. Have a second family all the way across the country. Don't just have a second family. Have a third family in Santa Fe with an alternative lifestyle. Don't spend any time with the first 2 families. Make a commitment to family number 3 and double down by announcing it at his war hero father's retirement party. Don't go to the funeral, because remember you got 2 other families to deal with and a marathon to train for. Don't just let Kenneth walk out of your life. Take his life from him. Don't just go to jail. Go to death row by killing the 2 other families. Don't just let anyone have their closure by apologizing. Send a message that you're not afraid of hell. Hey, you may not know this, but our full name is Nigel.
The Nyquil is so dumb. Nyquil.
Mike's. Mikey, edited a Mikey. Let's see here. So yeah, going back to Camp Coral. They had a special on like the regular SpongeBob show, like the actual SpongeBob show, where it was like a special where it's called Creepaway Camp, but like spelled with K's, and it was supposed to be like kind of a reunion for them, and it had like a bunch of characters where I'm like, who is this? Who is that? Who is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously I knew a lot of the ones that are original to SpongeBob, but like I didn't know a lot of the ones that were original to Camp Coral. And I feel like that was, but I'm wondering if that episode was supposed to be kind of a send-off to Camp Coral because it was canceled.
Maybe. I don't know.
Apparently there's a character that's like really, really tall. And there's like, and like you never see his head. That kind of character, but like he's supposed to be like a basketball player type character.
What about Basketball Americans?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What the heck?
I don't know. Oh, I got it. Okay. Anyway. But yeah. Oh yeah, Bridge. But anyway, it was a fine episode. It's just I'm sure that I would have gotten more of the references had I watched the show, but I didn't want to watch the show. And it was kind of questionable at first. Like, I thought it was at least going to be like something where it was for maybe a little bit of a younger audience. But then there were some jokes on there that were like kind of the same as on regular SpongeBob. So I was just like, well, who's this for?
I'm bored.
Yeah. But, now what's interesting about the Patrick show, is the fact that, like, it's one of those shows that, like, you turn it on and then, like, out of context, you're just like, what is even happening, you know?
Do I really want to defile this grave for money?
Of course I
will.
I do, yeah, let's see. Am I really gonna defile this grave for money? Of course I am. Like, that was the perfect joke for what was... Now, I mean, obviously, we don't know for sure how... If Steven Hillenburg actually... I was about to say Steven Spielberg. If he actually had anything to do with those shows or approved... I mean, technically, Nickelodeon... They had every right to make those shows. It's just... To have those shows made, I should say. But... It just, you know... At least originally... Steven Hillenburg didn't want a spin-off of, like... He literally said something like, I don't think a show with Patrick would work. Starring Patrick would work.
And so they made one.
And so they made one. But I do remember seeing, like, I remember kind of looking over and having to see the Patrick show was on, and it had like Patrick was like some kind of barbarian cutting a bunch of heads off, but obviously they were still alive because of the kids show and there was no blood.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was just like I'm just like, what's even happening right now? Like he was just chopping everyone's heads off and.
Stupid.
Yeah.
No, I'm Texas.
And I mean, like in the regular show, SpongeBob, it's never had a extremely consistent story, but it had a lot of consistent things in it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that has slowly changed over time in SpongeBob without really explaining. But then they'll still try to make it sound like some of the other stuff is canon, even though it won't make any sense. Like Patrick's parents being completely different looking. Well, as the Patrick show was still being made or still premiering, they had an episode on regular SpongeBob that had his parents' original design in an episode, but then like an episode or two later, they're the newer design.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking like, I understand that it doesn't always have a consistent story, but this is like going way off the rails. Like they just gingerly changed it without it explaining much. So the same show where the first episode with Sandy is the first one where SpongeBob and Sandy meet. You know, I think that would have been more excused if it was a case of like, in like the last episode of Camp Coral, everyone's memory was wiped or something. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that would have been, or like maybe the last episode of the Patrick show, their memory gets wiped, memories get wiped, and then over time they're like, oh yeah, this happened, you know, on the regular show, but like it just didn't make any sense how they did things.
That way's blocked by the fire, Sonic. It's too. Do the barrels next to it seem fishy to you?
I'm
Maybe
bored.
they've got tuna inside.
Haha, sorry.
Sorry.
Well, he apologized for his lame jokes, so you gotta give him that. Every silver has a cloud language.
Cloud the Echidna.
Yes. What about Lotion the Hedgehog and hand sanitizer the Echidna?
What the heck?
That was on an old video. Like, I think they may have been talking about either one of the Sonic Boom games or this is like 2014 or something. Either one of the Sonic Boom games or Sonic Lost World. Let's see here. I
wish I could find the
funny.
G4 TV episode where it starts out like someone's being tortured, and like do you remember the G4 episode? Like, I forgot what's going on. There's some kind of Saw-style torture deal going on, and the guy has to play 2 hours of a Virtual Boy game, but like it burns his eyes out.
Oh, I miss that crap.
G4 was great when we had, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Well, Adam Sessler went full on cuck, but
Yeah, but at the time it was.
Well, I'm just saying at the time, yeah. But yeah, when they brought it back, I think part of it, I mean, here's the thing, is that part of it was gonna fail anyway. Because
putting it on cable? What game
honestly,
should I pay for cable?
Honestly, the reason we loved G4 back then, at the very least, was because part of it was because there was no other channel that had stuff dedicated to like video games and stuff, or no other channel that had like a bunch of shows dedicated to video games like G4 did. But then, well, if you look at the numbers from when it came back, like on YouTube and the channel and everything, it got high viewership at first, but after like a week or two, it started like dropping because it was just cool to see it back, and then everyone's just like, well, we got other channels now on YouTube to watch about stuff like this. Plus, they were kind of stuck in the past about some things where 3D Sonic not good, like 2D Genesis Sonic, that kind of thing. But anyway,
X-Play was the name of the show. I forgot the name of the
X-Play.
show.
What about the Christmas special where like all these characters are coming in and hey, you know, there's 2 dead guys out here, you know. I never saw. Apparently, there was like a musical movie they had one time. I never saw it. I remember seeing it being advertised.
Switch.
I think they like made a deal with the devil about something, so it would have matched modern gaming, you know, stories.